Still in my bag, intact, don't slack. Fill in the gap, it's a rap, no cap. Might stay dash, just to chase they cash.
Welcome back to another day in the Elajas era. I'm your host of the most boast, Taylor Elajas. You doing good? I'm doing pretty good, but are you doing good though? I'm doing pretty good. So today, we are going to be discussing the R.Kelly interview with Gayle King and the press conference held with the Savage family and their attorney. Now, this situation is actually very crazy, and it's so crazy that I had to take notes because, and don't mind how dirty my book is, but I had to take notes because this situation is actually very sensitive and wild. We're literally watching before our eyes a historical situation, and it's not historical in a good way, but it's definitely going to go down in the history books. And I wanted to make sure I had accurate information by both the interviews. It took me a while to even find longer clips of the R.Kelly interview because it's been taken down a lot. I don't know why, and I watched the Savage family press conference. Now I'm going to be divulging a lot of things that happened in both of those pieces of video. We're going to start with the R.Kelly interview. Now, in the R.Kelly interview he conducted with Gayle King, right? I'm going to give you a little backstory about what Gayle King said about the interview. It was conducted in his apartment in Trump Tower in Chicago, right? And apparently he keeps his Christmas tree up all year round because his mother died in, I believe, 1993, and that was her favorite holiday. Okay, so that could add to maybe why R. Kelly is the way that he is, because his mother passed away and they were very close. That was her favorite holiday. Maybe that could, things like that definitely maybe mess up your psyche. So, R. Kelly, he definitely, body language wise, he showed off that he wanted to get off everything he wanted to get off. He was not very calm and collected about getting off what he wanted to get off. And I think that was to his detriment because he tried to seem very animated and very lively with making his points to where, he ended up getting up and like throwing fists and people thought that Gayle was going to be in harm. She even said she wasn't in harm and didn't feel like she was going to be in harm. I honestly didn't feel like she was going to be in harm either. It just felt like he was getting very emotional and irate with the situation because literally his career is crumbling before our eyes, like his music's being taken off streaming. Artists are coming out and saying, I regret working with him. He's losing out on a lot of tour dates and money. Like he's losing out on a lot of things. So it's understandable why he wanted to come out and do something like this to try to show the public, I didn't do this. They're trying to ruin my life, But another thing I found interesting was that he at one point said to the camera, use your common sense. Why would I hold 4 or 5 girls, you guys saying 50 under against their will?
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Why would I need to do that, especially with everything I've done in my past? But then he also admits that Azarel and Jocelyn, that he's seeing them, and those are his girlfriends, right? And he says, "Oh, don't bring that. Don't even talk about that, blah blah blah," because there's people out here with like 4 or 5 girlfriends, blah blah. But also when he brings up that whole 50 number,
let alone 4, 5, 6, 50, you said. Why? How stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you were holding.
That's stupid.
That wasn't really said by Gayle King. Gayle King didn't bring up the 50 number. Gayle King was just asking, so you've never had sex with 17-year-old girls or underage girls? She was just asking general questions, and then he starts adding more information that she didn't even ask. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that can be an indication of guilt when you're already trying to deny things that wasn't even asked of you. But he also does in the interview, I came here so they can hear me speak. So I guess he was already just trying to just deny everything that was happening already from the gate. It's because he knows everything that's been happening, so he's already trying to deny it before Gayle can even really get her line of questioning out. He was kind of just getting very irate, and she ended up saying, yeah, this is not going to be you just ranting at the camera. We're actually conducting a real life interview here. Okay.
We have to have a conversation,
This is
really.
not me.
I don't want you just ranting at the camera.
So, R. Kelly, there's apparently DNA against this man with this case. There's a lot of evidence, apparently, according to the Savage family's attorney, and they're saying that he's going up there spitting denials of things that he doesn't even really know is true or not. So I feel like he felt like he needed to do this because the repercussions have just been endless of him being outside and going to do tour dates, and like he's losing out on a lot of money, his way of life, to probably even be able to pay for him and his 2 girlfriends. He's losing out on a lot of money, so he probably felt like he needed to do this to get the court of public opinion back on his side. But at the end of the day, the court of public opinion does not decide whether or not you go to jail. And the other thing is that he said, I was acquitted. I didn't go to jail. I beat the case. Now, that wasn't referring to the child pornography case from a while ago. And honestly, I felt like that had already been cleared up on the Surviving R. Kelly Lifetime documentary, that they were paid off. It wasn't really said outright, but I believe it was pretty. You could definitely make the assumption that they were paid off to not be able to speak about it for a certain amount of time, and now that length of time is over and they're free to speak. They should not have taken the money though, because I do feel like they took money to say that it didn't happen, and now he's a free man. If they were to just speak their truths, he could have been in jail this whole time. But I do believe that R. Kelly and his camp paid off those people to not say anything, and now the repercussions are being seen right now, because now they're coming out and they're speaking their truths, but the truth could have been dealt with a long time ago. But R. Kelly was just very animated, and it seemed like he was victimizing himself in the situation, truly. But he was definitely trying to urge everybody to use their common sense and say, oh, why would I do this, especially with my past, right? And he definitely tries to emphasize, I'm not, I love all women, legal. You know what I'm saying?
I don't look at much younger than me. I just look at legal. I just look at you're you, I'm me.
The man had a hand in writing age ain't nothing but a number with Leah. That's dirty. That just makes my skin crawl. You know what I'm saying? Age ain't nothing but a number. He had a hand in writing that. You know what I'm saying? He had a hand in writing that. But you're saying you love women of all ages. You know what I'm saying? You and Aaliyah were supposedly dating. There are reports, or not even reports, in the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, one of the women said she walked in on them having sex. The mom says they didn't have sex though. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, but you played a part in that. They literally went on TV and interview wearing similar clothes. And when they were asked if they were together, there was not a clear answer given. And Aaliyah was not legal at that point. And literally, I'm not even just blaming R. Kelly for all these things. I'm blaming everyone around him, But at the end of the day, he probably paid their bills. So, you're not trying to speak out on somebody that pays your bills, because then you'd be out of a job. But, I do believe a lot of dirty things is happening, and his team just didn't say anything. Literally, somebody in his camp admitted that he forged the signature for Aaliyah for them to get married. And she was not 18. Like that, she was not legal at that point. Like there's literal, like that's facts. That is facts. When they got married, she was not legal. The signature was forged. Like that is a fact. R. Kelly. That's not even alleged. Cause I'm not going to speak on things that are not factual. But that is quite factual, and there is an admittance of that. So I do believe he felt like he needed to do this though to get off his side of the story, because his livelihood is definitely being ruined at this point. Okay. So we're gonna dip into the Jocelyn Savage family's press conference a little bit at this point. So they're talking about they haven't seen Jocelyn in 2 years. Okay, now that is definitely a lot. And they're also saying that Jocelyn was in college when R. Kelly took her away. They didn't just give her to R. Kelly. And they were also saying that Jocelyn had performed on big stages already with other artists. They were trying to do this for strictly business, despite the fact that he already had allegations.
Mr. Kelly's manager came to our boutique to see the girls perform, and he wanted them to see how a big crowd, because Jocelyn had already performed with other artists here in Georgia. She was already had an EP, which is multiple songs already out.
The daughter was saying this is no different than Lady Gaga, Keke Palmer, Chris Brown, people of those statures doing songs with R. Kelly after the allegations, and them now having to come out and apologize for it. You know, I do kind of agree with that, with like, yeah, because I do think though, if an instance where you're just giving your child to this person that has these child sexual allegations against him, it's like, maybe I don't want to do that. But, you know, the case can be made though, where it's like other people have still, you know, worked with him, and they're just trying to boost their daughter's musical career, you know, and he did beat the case. But when you beat cases, it doesn't always mean that you didn't do what you beat, especially when you're a person with that much influence and money. You have to always recognize that. But the Savage family were also saying that they received no funds, and R. Kelly was saying that the Savage family just handed her over to them for money. But they're saying they received no funds. So there's a lot of things. It's kind of both sides saying, why would I do this? Or why would I do this? Why would we do that? Or why would I do that? You know, it's kind of, it's definitely a little fishy situation. It's a little fishy. Both sides are basically trying to get everyone to believe, like, why would we do this? Why? And R. Kelly's saying, why would I do that? You know. But at the end of the day, the attorney's saying that there's receipts, there's DNA, you know, and R. Kelly's basically not really saying there's much receipts on his end, but he's just saying, oh, if there's receipts, then pull them out. That's really all he's saying on his end. But in the Savage press conference, they're also saying that there was 8 people in the documentary, but they know of 48 people that have been in R. Kelly's path of mass destruction. So this is just really gross, honestly. But, you know, they're trying to see their daughter. I think there may be a Jocelyn interview coming, but, you know, and R. Kelly's trying to say too, they're trying to bring up stuff from his past to bring it into the now, right? But, you know, stuff from happening in your past, it still happened. You know what I'm saying? It definitely still happened. But at this point, the 2 women are legal. That's really the only thing. But, you know, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen. We're really gonna see what is going to happen, because, you know, this is definitely really fishy. But the Savage family are saying that they did not hand Jocelyn over to him. She was in college trying to get her degree.
Her roommate called me and said, Jocelyn, someone came to pick Jocelyn up, and I haven't seen her since.
And they kind of just went and took her. You know, her roommate said people came, got her, never saw her since. She also has not posted on social media since 2016. So there's a lot going on. The Savage family believe that she is being brainwashed, and R. Kelly's basically just like, oh, why would I need to do all this? You know, he was just very animated. And when you're trying to have an interview like that to try to make people believe you, I guess he was taking the emotional route rather than the calm, cool, collected route, to where, you know, you go in straight face like, no, none of this happened, why would I do this? But then you went the emotional route like, no, they're trying to ruin my life, guys. Just regardless if you like me or hate me, I didn't do this. Quit playing with my life. I didn't do this. Quit playing with my life. You know what I'm saying? People playing with your life because you had a sex tape going around like Gatorade after a basketball practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why people playing with your life. You helped write age ain't nothing but a number. That You know what I'm saying? I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. A lot of the songs in your history and your discography now, they sound nasty. They sound real nasty. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you, brother, man. But I want to see how this turns out because it's definitely a just grossly weird case. But we're watching history in front of our eyes. We're watching history. So to watch it unfold is definitely an interesting thing. But also apparently to the Savage family, they said that Sony was gonna sign their daughter and R.Kelly was gonna executive produce it. So the father was saying, they were okay with him executive producing the album, but not with anything that's going on currently with the whole brainwashing and sexual abuse, allegedly. And they have not communicated with their daughter, and YouTube's been the only place that they've been able to get in contact with her, but even then, they haven't really been talking to her.
The last conversation we had, it was in December 2016.
I definitely recommend you go check out the press conference and the R.Kelly interview. We're watching history unfold before our eyes, so I do find that very interesting. Every day we live another day in a textbook, which to me is definitely mind-boggling, but I hope that Jocelyn Savage can come to her senses and, at least see. Because honestly, at the end of the day, too, regardless of whether or not you believe R.Kelly or you believe the Savage family, they're really only doing this, and they've said it multiple times, they just want to see and talk to their daughter. And if she chooses to stay with R.Kelly after that, because she is a legal woman, if she chooses to stay with R.Kelly after that, then they can't do anything about it. Then they're like, okay. But to not even be able to see her, and then go on national television as R.Kelly and then say, oh yeah, that's my girlfriend, and then say that the family paid to just, give her to him, like, as your girlfriend, you don't want your girlfriend to see her family. You know what I'm saying? Even you want to see her parents, like, and the Savage family is saying that she missed the grandfather's funeral, and the daughter saying that Jocelyn and her, I believe her name was Jocelyn, were very close to the grandfather, and they didn't even get in contact for her to be able to go to the funeral. So there's definitely some nasty things going on, but I hope Jocelyn can see her family. And, I'm not going to say anything should happen to R.Kelly because everything is still alleged. There are definitely some factual things, and more facts are going to end up coming out. But till then, I'm Elajas, and you're watching Fill in the Gap.
My people tell me that I'm good for this. The other ones just think I'm hood for this. But really, I've been busy with filling the gap with the feeling of being really the most. So tell me, what is your life? I can tell you what life's like. Shine bright, set a soul in your head.